In this live stream, we are going to be wrapping up our week-long journey on building this journal. And I'm kind of glad I didn't go live for some of this because it was kind of a torment and a few cuss words escaped my lips. I couldn't help it. That's just how I am. But so far, so good. Sort of. So I'm going to put this is our cover. Let me show you. This is the back side. It doesn't look pretty, but this is our cover. And I thought I got all the strings cut off. There we go. I guess not. I sat here and snipped all these kind of rando long strings. And I guess I missed a few. Anyway, this is what we got, kind of a patchwork thing going on. And I cut it to the size that we're going to need. So all the extra stuff is in there. And now I want to put this on there just to kind of give it another layer. And we're just going to rip this. We'll use that later, maybe. So we're going to snip it and rip it and call it good, because we want to get this journal done today, right? Can't be nitpicking about all the little bitty things. So some of this live stream I won't be on camera, but I will be on voice until I get a camera to record or to show you me over at the sewing machine. This isn't gonna, you know what? Let's grab this guy and we'll just very gingerly cut it. There, that works. Make sure we cover that back up because we don't want any boo-boos. All right, so we don't have to worry about this being absolutely perfect. If it's a little short, it's a little short. Oops, that's not going to tear straight. There we go. Because off camera today, let's get these strings too. Off camera today, I found the binding that we're going to use around the edge. And all I had was this. I'll show you in a moment here. Let me get some of these strings out of the way. And I put canvas on here, so it gave it another layer, and that because there's like 4 layers on the ripped parts, and then it just felt weird to not have it have another layer. So I used the thickest fabric I have, and that was cotton duck. I think it's 10 ounce. It's either 8 or 10 ounce, whatever a drop cloth is. I think it's 8 ounce now that I think about it. Okay. Excuse me. At least I remembered to cover the microphone. So I have this satin binding that's supposed to be for like a baby blanket or quilt or whatever. But it's super wide and it's bright white. So I went and took my iron out and a towel because I don't have an ironing board. I know. I haven't owned an ironing board in like probably 15 years. Just use a towel doubled or tripled up, but I took some coffee stain, I folded it down on either side and took some coffee stain and took down that bright white. So yeah, it's still white, but it's not bright white. If you're going to use coffee stain in an iron, make sure you don't use it a good iron. You know, don't use your $100 iron to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off down here at the bottom, and I'm just going to do strip, 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 so I don't have to futz about the corners. But we are going to be kind of covering up some of that too, so hopefully it looks good. So I'm just going to pin this down. Oh, pins, here they are. And then we'll go over and stitch it down. Okay. And now that I got that pinned down, I'm going to use this as some weight. When I was in high school, I used to sew a lot of my clothes or alter them in some way. I didn't wear them to school, but I wore them outside of school, like at home and stuff, because I didn't want to get teased. I was already getting bullied, so I didn't want to add insult to injury. All right, so let's get this lined up, and I'm going to snip this off right here. There we go. So it's not hanging down while we're trying to line this up. So and then we'll just lay this down on top. And pin this one right here. Come on, work with me. There we go. Okay, there's one. Let's see how that looks. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch this down and then come back over it with this. Or actually, maybe as I stitch it down, I can lay this down. No, I want to, because I want to stitch right here with it, with this, the binding. And then I'll come back over it with a zigzag stitch, and this is some vintage or vintage seam binding. It's a stretch lace, but it's not much stretch, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. And then we'll just run this along and stitch it down, because I think that'll add some pizzazz to it. But I want to get this binding down first. So we're going to turn this down. There we go. So I know I put the pins on the wrong side. It's okay. It'll be fine. I take the pins out before I get close to the thing anyway, because yeah, I don't want to deal with pins flying everywhere. And hopefully I have enough of this binding. So we're going to put this first bit down. So now if you're just binding it, it would be easy enough to just put it down. Like if you're just going to do this as your journal, you know, you could just stitch it down. But because we're going to be wrapping this around to the other side, which I have more lace to put on the other side, which I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to attach because, excuse me, I think I might have to end up gluing it down. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we can just, me, myself, and I. All right. That's staying a lot better. I'm going to put a pin here. And a pin here. And a pin here. There we go. And now we'll snip this. Maybe. There we go. Excuse my cough. Now, you're going to fold this edge in. And there we go. Excuse my sniffles. There we go. Cut it about that far out. And yes, I probably should be ironing this, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, so I'm just going to pin this right here so we don't lose its spot. There we go. And again, we're just going to fold. Let's fold. That's not very straight. There we go. That's a little better. Fold that down. Okay, and we're just going to pin it. I keep going over there for pins because that's bright yellow and it's what I always go to. Okay, so I'm just going to pin it there so it stays while we're over there sewing. And then while I'm sewing, ouch, that was my finger. And then I'll take it down. Wow, I planned that pretty good. And then we'll just fold this over. Actually, let's cut this a little more straight. Apparently I can't cut straight today. There we go. And fold it over. Stick it down. And put a pin in. Come on. Oh, Lord have mercy. Did I just drop that on the floor? No. Okay. This is just so I don't lose my pieces. It's not going to be stitched on this way. I'll adjust it as we go along. Okay, so I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine. We're going to do a cute little sign. So anybody who joins the live stream knows. We're just going to write sewing. Be right back. There we go. That way, someone comes in and they don't see me, but they hear me. They know what's going on. Okay, I've got red thread in here, which I'm just going to use that because I think it's going to be, I think I'm going to have it flipped over more. I don't know. Let's see what we can do with it this way. Okay, so let's stick that in there. Actually, I think we're going to do the long edges first. And we'll just I want to put this on a red zigzag. There we go. We'll start it right here. Actually, I'm going to line that up so it does like an overlocking stitch. And I think as long as we catch that edge, we'll be good. So this is going to be slow and steady wins the race. And I am going to backstitch. There we go. Uh-oh. What are we stuck on? Okay, come on. Work with me, please. Thank you. There. Let's try that again. Trying to get it to lay flat. All right, I'm going to take this pin out. There we go. The other one was far enough away, but that one I'm questioning. Okay, so making sure it's lined up on the back side. I'm sewing from the front side. Okay, and take that pin out. And hold my finger where the pin was. Okay, I'm going to take this pin out. But we're going to pin this here so I don't forget what edge this goes to. There we go. And take this pin out. There we go. Last stitch. 3 more sides to go. Okay. And we'll start on this edge. I'm going to do the 2 long edges and then the short edge. Where's that pin? There it is. So let me get the fabric underneath there and then take the pin out. Here we go. And oh, I forgot to backstitch. That's okay. I don't want to go all the way back. Although, you know what? Let's do it. Just because it'll add character. All right, let's straighten that out. Now we're getting to the thick pieces of fabric. And it makes a thunky thunk noise just because there's like 7 layers of fabric. Okay. Trying to keep this as straight as I can. we're running into the thicker parts of the fabric. And I'm going to leave that pin in as long as I can. Excuse me. Okay, take that pin out. Okay. Okay. Whew. I didn't think this was going to be so challenging, but this, I didn't think this through. And you know what? We're just going to stick with it and keep going. And hope that we have enough black bobbin. I just thought of that. It's like, oh crap, maybe I need to change the bobbin, which is easy because I already have, when I pre-make a whole bunch of black bobbins. Now we're going to back stitch. There we go. Okay, my scissors are over there. So let's see where we're at so far. Okay. We will put our sign aside for a moment. So this is what we got so far. I am not the best sewer on the planet, seamstress, sew artist, whatever you want to call me, I am not. I am better at baking bread, painting, making candy, all the other things. All the other things. Okay, so if I do this, I wonder if we should, no, you know what, we're just going to leave it. We're just going to roll with it. So this goes down here. I was going to like try and taper the edges, but I think we'll have a better time with it if we just zigzag and then come down. So we're going to put a pin here. Like that. And then I think we're pretty much right on the money there. There we go. Let's move this just down just a little bit. So the challenge is this is satin and I'm not a seamstress. So yeah. I don't deal with satin. I'm a cotton girl. And it's polyester satin. It's not like true satin. So we're going to put a pin here. And what we'll do is we'll stitch down this side when we put the binding tape on. But for now, I want to keep it. Let's see if we can move this all the way over here. There we go. And this one can go here. That way it'll lay nice and flat. Well, it will when we unpin it. And then the binding will go over like that. Okay. And then the other thing that we need to think about is the other piece of lace that we're going to put here. So let's be having that in the back of our heads. This is getting heavy. This is going to be a heavy book. It's going to look, I think it's going to look cool, because then we're going to take this lace. Oh, there's a pin in here. There we go. Then we're going to take this lace and we're going to pin it right here and put it right here. Yep. That'll look really cute. At least I think so. Maybe this looks like hot garbage to some people, but to me, I had a quilt when I was growing up, and I don't even remember where I got it. I could have got it from a family member. I could have gotten it from a garage sale, because I was a garage sale junkie even back then. I would literally take all the money I'd earn and go to garage sales, buy, and just buy things, you know, things that I needed, clothes, shoes. I bought my first coffee pot at a garage sale. You know, I mean, I bought all the things. Okay, I'm going to trim this down just a little bit more. There we go. I'm going to fold this over so I know where to fold this over. So I'll have that there. Okay. There we go. All right, pin here. This is where we're going to start. And I'm just going to zigzag right down here, straight to the edge. And do that on both sides. And then we'll come back, I'll come back and we'll put the lace down, stitch that real quick, and then we'll be ready to adhere this to our journal base, which is exciting. And I'll put one more right here. All right, I'm going to go back to the sewing machine. We'll put our sign back. There we go. Until we get a camera. I need it. Well, I think I need a switcher. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay. At the sewing machine. I'm going to do, put my magnifying glasses on over my glasses. Okay, I'm going to pull this pin out. Maybe, come on. Oh my goodness. There we go. Beautiful, good job. Bring the needle down. Okay. Okay, now we need to fold this under. Like that. Maybe I should have just stitched it beforehand. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll do one more stitch. Okay. There we go. And now it's time for this one. I think, yeah, I have enough thread to do this for sure. Okay, so before we do our next end, we'll change out the color of the thread. Before we do the next step, we will definitely change out the thread, top thread, and then we'll change out the bobbin. Okay, so we're going to put pin right there like that, so we can line this up. There we go. Put our pin in, our needle in, and that'll help hold it. Okay, and unpin this. So it can lay flat and let her rip. Okay. Now we're going to take this fabric and fold it under again. So I'm just, instead of trying to do the corners, because that would have made me cry. I'm not kidding. I would have been in tears by the end of it because I'm not good at corners. And I know I need practice, and I'm not going to learn how to do them until I do practice them. But you know what? There's a time and a place. And right now is not the time nor the place. Okay. So we're going to stitch this forward. to the end, right about there. And then we're going to back stitch and come forward again. And then bring it up. There we go. Okay. I do a lot of hand wheel. I use the hand wheel a lot. But it works, so that's what I do. All right, this is what we got. This looks really cool, actually. Okay, so let's do our lace. I'm going to move this up and over a little bit. And I'm going to start the lace here. And I'm just going to, I've got some brown thread. Yeah. And I'm just going to pin this one here like this. Oh wait, no, we don't want it all the way there. We want it here. I wonder. Yeah, let's fold that under like so. Maybe. Listen. It's being obtuse. There we go. Okay, so there's the start. And I'm going to see if I can do the corner. Because if we're going to do the corner on this, so I just take it and stitch it to there. And then do that with it. Yeah. And then go down and around. Okay. I'm going to go change the thread out. Oh no, that's snipped. Oh no, that, okay. We're going to fix it. Oh no, that's the way it's supposed to be. This is the, oh, this end. That's okay. We'll just go snip. Actually, where's my little snippers? Where'd you go, the little whippersnapper? Now, I thought about putting this on the edge instead of the brown thread. But I don't know if I like this big floppy. I think we're going to just stitch this onto one of the page, onto the envelopes or something. I think. We'll get there when we get there. Because it's just too big and too floppy. And yeah, so where'd my little snippers go? I knew we had a plan. Okay, I don't see them. I know I had them last night. I was doing all the snipping last night. Or not last night, night before last. I'll get it right someday. Okay, you know what? We'll just, it'll be fine for now. We'll snip it later. And that way it'll lay flat-ish. I don't mind that it flips over. It'll kind of cut each layer and it'll do its thing. I'm really liking this. Okay. So I'm gonna zigzag this down here, and then we'll stop here, fold this over, zigzag to here, and then back stitch, turn. Yeah, because we can just fold it over. That works for me. Yeah. Okay. Okay, here we go. I tried to get this all done this morning, but things weren't jiving. All right, I need to bring these pins over there. And I need a sip of coffee. Okay. So I got this really cool brown. It's a dark brown. So we'll thread that through. So you'll see the shininess of the thread, but you won't see much else. And I don't know how this is going to turn out. But we're going to go for it. Because you don't know till you try. And if you don't like it, you know what? We have enough probably. You know what? I'm not going to take the risk. I'll use this. This has like maybe a quarter of the bobbin left. And I'll use that on a smaller project. I'd rather have a full bobbin and not be stressed about, oh, am I going to run out? Am I going to run out? There we go. Where's my little tool to get this? This will work. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to put these right here. Okay. Now we're going to do a zigzag. We're going to do a wider zigzag, just slightly wider, slightly shorter, just so it's variation of the stitch. I probably should put the bobbin cover on. It usually helps. We're going to stick this down and then stick this down. Oop, that's going to come right on the pin, and we don't want that. There we go. There's a lot of fabric right there. All right, let's get our other glasses on so we can see what we're doing. Okay, I'm just going to line this up where we want it. And let her rip. needle down, get this line backed up. It was slipping and sliding. There we go. Okay, and now we fold this over. Okay, and then we're going to stitch this up to here. And then back stitch, forward stitch, until that should be good right there. Okay, now you're all kinds of tangled up over here. There we go. Now we can just lay this flat, put that down. I'm kind of pinning this as I go so it doesn't slide as much. So I have it like hanging in front of me. And then once I get to the pin, I'll pull the pin out. Put the needle down. There we go. Why do I always seem to find the thickest part to put the pin through? Okay, pin his needles down, pull the pin. Excuse me. Uh-oh. Did we lose? No, we didn't. Whew. Okay. Pull the pin. Let's get this back to where it needs to be. Again, pull the pin. going to fold this over before we even get there, because last time it was a little bit more difficult. Excuse me. Okay, that should be good. All right, now we're going to take one stitch forward, and then we're going to back stitch. We'll do that again. Okay, now we can go forward. All right, this end doesn't want to stay folded, so this is going to be a challenge. You know what, let's pin the other side like that, and then that should help. Okay. Okay, now we need to put the needle down, fold the corner. I'm going to have to lift up the presser foot for that, because I got a little rambunctious. That doesn't surprise me. There we go. Put our presser foot back down. And I'm going to stitch all the way down. One, two. That should be good. All right, let's take that pin out. Whew. We're on the final stretch. And then we got the other ribbon, or the other lace to put on, but we got to decide which one we want to put on. So that's going to be fun. I think we got over a little bit too far, but we can make it work. That's one thing. Oh, geez. We got a whole big mess up here. Let's try putting this up here. And there we go. I don't know what happened there. Hopefully it didn't mess things up. All right, let's get this done. Uh-oh. Something is amiss at the Circle K. There we go. I'll just cut these strings off. And thankfully, the brown thread is hidden Oh yeah, we got all kinds of a mess going down here. Let's take our brown thread. Where'd it go? There it is. No, that's the black. The brown is so brown, it's so dark, it looks black. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure, yeah, that should be good. Okay, let's cut that extra off. Let's hope this works now. And we'll come back and stitch over where we left off. It's not as good as back stitching, but there's a big old whole mess right there. So I don't know what happened. I think the thread got tangled in down there. Okay. I'm going to leave that sign down because we're going to pin down this other lace. But first, before we go too much further, let's see if this is going to fit. So I'm just going to cut this right here. Like that. We got a good chunk left. It's stretchy. So we can use that for a tag or something on the inside. And you can see where it became this jumbled mess underneath. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but we're just going to cut the strings. We're not going to worry about it. Let's cut the threads off. There we go. And I'm not even going to care if the threads show, because that's kind of what we're going for, the kind of rough and tumble. Now, the test. Okay, so that's our back. This is our front. This is our front. And we have the wraparound like this. Cool. So I think we're going to put the lace on the edge. That way we have a little bit of wiggle room if we need it. But it also helps hold this binding down, so it's not as slippery. And that'll come up. So I wanted to, while we have it here, excuse me, now remember, most of our stuff is coffee stained, and these are our I think we're gonna have to put these here, because, and we're gonna have to do 2 signatures here. Or you know what we could do is put this one up front with these, do 3 signatures, boom, boom, boom. And then 2 back here. Yeah, I think that's what we'll probably end up doing. So we've got this green, we got the blue. So I was thinking either, not this one, Lord help me. The pins always want to fall out of these. Let's just put that there, oops. And that's a broken T-pin. How did that get in there? Let's just use this one. There we go. So I was thinking this lace, because it's wider, but I think it's too wide. And I was actually thinking, I know, don't come at me, but I'm actually thinking pink. But Tish, you hate pink. No, I don't hate pink. It's just not my favorite. It's really not my favorite, because the mint doesn't look right. I think the pink is going to look right. So let's see if we even have enough. Okay. Either that or I have plenty of the ivory, and we can always do something fun with the ivory. We could coffee stain it or ink it or something. I'm going to put that down. That's not a clean pin. That one's not clean either. All these pins are full of glue. That one's clean though. There we go. All right, let's see if we have enough. I don't think we are going to have enough. So 1. Nope, we have enough for the top and the bottom. Okay, well, let's plan B. What if I know, hurry up, Tish. You're so slow. What if we did the ivory, but we hit it with some kind of something? Hang on, I'm going to get a clean pin. Okay, so there's those options. Let's see if maybe I have a different option that we can do inside here. I do have more of the brown lace, but I wanted to do something different on the inside. I have a blue lace. Let's see what we got in here. I have another ivory lace, but I use that a lot already. And I'm trying to use, oh, here's some different ones. I'm trying to use different stuff. Trying to use stuff that I haven't used on the 30 journals I used last month. Okay, so, phew. I think this pink lace might be a little thick, but let's try it. Because we didn't have enough of the other pink lace. Let's lay that down. Yeah, see, these are too thin, I think. Oh, we could do it down the middle and have it kind of come up. Yeah, I don't like these. And that's the same blue as what I got on here, and I don't like that blue. And that's too fancy. I wanted it to look kind of like homespun, because the cover is very homespun, and it reminds me of a quilt blanket that I had when I was growing up that was made out of scrap fabrics and a wool army blanket. So let's see what we got in here. These are coffee stained. See, that's the same thinness. That's really thin too. I don't think we're gonna find what I'm looking for here. Yeah, that's too wide. Bummer. All right, let's take, well, you know what we could do? We could stitch this to the edge. Because I like the brown. The brown looks good because it's just a band of it. It's not all like, but these are too wide. This is way too bright, and that's too wide as well. What about this? This is coffee stained. This was white. We could do that. We could just like stitch it down. Yep, we're gonna use this. Because I don't want it to be like obtrusive. Okay. And this is too white, like too frilly. I don't know, like too pure. And then we'd have to go through the time of coffee staining it all and doing all that. And while I like it, it's not going to happen. This is already coffee stained. And we'll just stitch it down the middle. And if it sticks up, it sticks up. It's okay. We're going to embrace it. So we're going to do these two in back. So we're going to have to make this spine wanted to put them up front so they'd have more space between them. But we'll do it. It'll be good. And then this one will go in front with the other two signatures. And we're going to have to divide the papers up, which is fine. And then decorate and we're done. So we've probably got about an hour and a half worth of work to do. So let's get to it. And I did seal this already. I used a little bit of matte medium, a little bit of crackle glaze, and there are some crackles in here. There's also some, I don't know, it's just really cool. It looks like an old wall. Like, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that with the glaze being shiny, but it turned out really cool. I'm really excited. So, now that we got that done, we're going to stitch, we're just going to do strips of lace on here. So let's grab our lace. No, not all of you. You stay over there. And hopefully, let's make sure that we're going to have enough. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we'll have enough. So let's do let's see, we're going to start at this end because we want to start at the back. And I'm just going to lay this down. I think I'm just going to lay it down towards, like, line up those holes. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay. I need a pair of scissors though, because I'm going to need to cut it. I wish I knew where my little snips went. All right, let me get a drink of coffee and go back to the sewing machine. Okay, so I have this kind of mauvey pink color. What is it called? It's called Tea Berry from Glide. And if you like this color, I'll show it to you when I'm done sewing. You can get this color at the Painted Raven here in Elgin, Texas. And there is a discount code as well as the link to her store. Excuse me. I'm trying to, oh, my hand's starting to cramp up. That's always beautiful. There we go. But I thought the mauve pink might look good with the purple since we couldn't use pink lace. We'll go with a little bit of pink. So we are going to do this edge first. And wait, yes, we need to do it that edge. Okay. I had to think for a minute. Thinking is hard. We're going to take this and snip this off. There we go. Okay, give me a moment. Wow, this is unfortunate. My hand wants to cramp up right now. So maybe we should do something different. No, we need to get this done so the glue can dry. Hey, okay, hand. I know I've been working you a lot, but you can do this. Just relax. You're good. All right, so I'm gonna lay this lace down. At least try to get it started, because once we get it started, it won't be so bad. At least that's the theory. All right, so all right. I see someone left a comment. I'm not close enough to the computer monitor to see, so give me one moment and I will reply. Ooh, okay, breathing, breathing. All right, you know what? We're gonna get this set up. Where did my spectacles go? Just use these. These are super magnification. Oh, man. You know what, guys? I'm probably going to have to finish this tonight on tonight's live stream. I don't know. We're going to try. We're going to try and muscle through. I'm going to put that there. I really do want to see who took the time to comment. Hello, MC. My hand is doing its cramping thing. See? See? I can't straighten my hand out. And it makes it very difficult to do anything when it decides to do this. And it was really bad for a while, and I thought I kicked it in the bud. But it's bad. Oh my goodness, it's bad. Whew. So I think I am going to cut this live short, and I do have another live stream scheduled for tonight. It is a create with me, chill vibe thing, and we'll put this journal together in that live stream. So I apologize profusely, but my hand's going to do what my hand's going to do. I have no control over it. It just really hurts. I need hot water. So I'll see you tonight. Thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Remember, be kind to one another. Peace, love, and happiness. Oh, at least I can do the peace sign. That's cool.